Hello guys, welcome back, and I'm going to add some more detail to this little guy in here, and for that I'm just going to select all those faces. I know we could build this on model and it would be a lot easier to do this, and next time I record this tutorial, if I do this in any other language or any other occasion, I will beat this one in model. It's a lot easier than SketchUp. You have to make choices, and I've done one that it's not so good, so I'm going to select all those edges and hit backspace, and I will do this with these inner edges as well, and there's nothing that I can press or do to make it more automatic. I have to do this one by one, and that's very sad. I'm almost crying in here, but I will be a man and I will not cry. Then I will select all those faces because I think that's a lot faster to do this. I will select everything and press delete, and I have to select this edge and bridge those together. Oops, Ctrl Z, X, spacebar, select, and go to bridge. Where is bridge? Here, bridge, click, and it's strange. I know it's strange, but I don't know why. Linear, I don't know, curve. Okay, no problem. I will let it, then double click, deselect those two and bridge those together. Okay, let me see here, let me double click this one here. That's it. Let's apply a material, and I will not use the material that came with SketchUp. I will apply another one, and I'll call this metal. Flip, and it is still strange, and I don't know why, because this shape here is right. Let me select those two little guys in here and Ctrl X, and I will make a new mesh here, rename it lamps, and paste it. Ctrl V to paste. This is really annoying me. Okay, I'll do this just like it. I'll select those two rings and then bevel, and press spacebar and press tab, and it's done. And I will delete those guys, select those, and Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste the W, and I will move it to here. Okay, I've added a lot more detail and edge on this little guy in here. Okay, I I don't think we need something more. That's okay. So I'm going to my render tab in here, and I will select my on my shaded tree here. I will click to select the glass material that I've called vidro. I will put above my shader, and I will give it a shader, and it will not cast shadow and not receive shadow, and it will be visible to camera but will not be visible to indirect rays. And reflection, okay, refraction as well, and occlusion rays I will let it just like this, and it will render fast. Okay, so on this glass we don't have to have diffuse. I will click conserve energy, no specular, and reflection amount I will put 20 and 80. Okay, just for now. Material transparency will be 100 transparent, and I will put 1.52 to our refractive index. Okay, so what can I do here? On my render I've used sunlight, but I don't think I'm going to use it now. Okay, I think I will stay with my directional light and not the physical sun. My environment, here, let me think about it. Just going to use a blue, sky, and no, I won't use this one here. I'll go to two color gradient, and this one here will be almost white, yellowish color. Okay, then let me go to my second camera here, and I'm going to add a soft edge on this light in here, and then I go to my directional light, and I will add a spread angle, not too much, just a little bit. I think that's too much. You have to be reasonable on that. Okay, so I'm going to lower that. Let me see here. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, and I will let the samples just like it is in the simple shading active, and later on, if I think it's necessary, I'm going to change it. Okay, let me see here my light. I will turn the light just a little bit to the right and down, just like this. Okay, then I will add go to my some IES lights or photometric lights here. So I'm going to lights and add a photometric light. It will ask for a light. You can download it from Luxology. Go to share, and let me see here, items. There is a lot of photometric lights that you can download, or you can Google it. Okay, I'll go to my lights here, and I think I will use the number 10, or maybe, let me see here, I think 28, it's fine. So I'm going to use 28. Those ones I've downloaded from Google. They are free. I don't remember the site, and I have to march show lights on this window. I just press O on my keyboard, and on visibility I'm just going to show lights, and with this light select I'm just going to place it where it should be with my top view here, and place it on the center of this light, and go to my right view and raise it up just to about there, and then rotate it, press Ctrl and rotate it 90 degrees. Then go to my top view here, create in instance W and move it, and I think it's a good time to take care of our item list here, and I will select all those and press Ctrl G and tell texture, select those volumetric lights and Ctrl G as well, and say photometric. I think that's how we spell it, and that's it. And I will put this one here above. When we change it, the other one will be changed, and I think that's it. Perspective. Okay, those lights are there. Let's go to our render tab, and I will make it bigger. Go to my options here and use all threads. Okay, and go to camera 2, go to my lights in here and see if they are good. I have this one here selected, so on radiance I'm going to rise it till I think that's okay, and I think now that's okay. I'll take the opportunity to, my PC is lagging. I think that's because of the recording, I don't know. Let me close some programs here. Okay, so those lights are in place. Maybe I will have to adjust the intensity again, but for now it's okay. Another thing that I like to do here is to take off all the specular of all materials, because all of them have specular. So to do this, if you have a simple scene like that, it's easy to select every material, but if you don't have, you go to F and just type material, and it will open all the materials that you can select, all of them at once. Then go to material and specular amount, take that off. Okay. That's it. I'm going to system, clear history, press yes to see if the lag goes away. It does not. Okay. And I will just close that. And we can also, so we don't have all those materials in here, you can also go to filter and filter on selection. Then it will show only the materials that we are selected. If I select, for example, the wall, the floor, that has the windows and the ceiling as well, we can separate that later on. It will show all those materials: frame 1, vidro, frame 1, teto, and piso. Okay. So if we select wall, you're going to see just those two paredes. Okay, those two materials. And I'm going to add a rectangular light on those windows to help our lighting. So I'm going to add item, lights, area light, and I will rotate it 90 degrees, go to my right view or my left view and place it. I'll try to use the less lights that I can use, so I will use just one light to this window. The reason is, if I use too much light, I'm going to increase my render time a lot. So I will duplicate this light in here, just rotate it, make it smaller, and place just right here, and go to my front view. That's it. Or my back view. Yeah, back view is better. Then go to top view. I will duplicate this light, rotate it 90 degrees as well, place it right here, go to my front view, and this is my back view here. In my back view I can see my door in there. Okay, 3 lights. Then go to my render tab. Let me go here to my render camera, and as you can see, I almost done my lighting here with no global illumination. that's fine. Let me go to my lights here, and I have to, this is the first one, so I'm going to, let me hide those to see how much they are contributing to my render. Let me see here, this is the second light, and 3, it's okay. The size of these lights, I don't know how to tell that in English, but this light is bigger and this light is smaller. They both have 3 on radians, but this light here have less influence or less power than this light here. As you can see here, when I turn this on or off, it almost does nothing, but when I turn this area light, big area light here on, it contributes with my render a lot more. It's because it's bigger. Okay, so I will take this light here, area light 2, and just lower that to something about 2. I'll let this first area light here as it is, and the third I'm going to let it just like it is as well. Let me go here to my shader tree, to my render tab, global illumination. I will turn off the ambient intensity, I don't like to use it, and I'm going to enable my indirect illumination just with 1 bounce for now. And we are using here 2.2 gamma. So, and another thing, I think I don't like this hot spot here coming from our photometric light. They are doing a very strong light in here, so I will choose another file for these photometric lights. So I'm going to, let me go here to my light, and on photometric file I'm going to browse for another one. Let me see here, all files. I just like to open this little guy here to choose one, and I think I will stay with 10 because as you can see here, it has a lot of light up here, but it does not get into the floor, and I'll change it to 10, and it's a lot, it's very strong, so I will lower that. Okay, so you can see here the light, but I don't have that hot spot here anymore. Okay, so if we are using 2.2 gamma, we need to color correct our textures because they are washed out. So I'm going to select let me just select these lights here, Control G, and then rename this group to area lights. Then I'm going to select all those items here, so I have all my textures here. Then I will select those textures, and I will turn off anti-aliasing, and on gamma I will divide this number to 2.2, and it will be color corrected. And if I'm doing this my diffuse needs to be 100%. Okay, and I'm going to do this with all those textures, and I will divide 1 by 2.2 and go to my material and make it 100% diffuse. And the last one is this one down here. Turn off the anti-aliasing and then divide by 2.2. Then go to my material and make it 100%. And that's it. Let me select this little guy in here and I'll make it 0% diffuse amount, conserve energy, and I will make the reflections 1080. Okay, and this texture here I will turn off the anti-aliasing, and I don't need to color correct because I will change it from diffuse color to surface shading normal. Okay, and as you can see here, I've got this effect, and I'm going to material transparency, and I'm going to tell it 100% transparent, and the refract index I'm going to give it 1.52. Okay, let me see here. Okay, for now that's what I've got. For my camera here, I'm going to let me divide this one here and say that's camera 1. I will unlock it and let me select this camera here, options, show cameras, and I will move it to the side and go to my top view here, move it forward, then rotate it, then move it so I can see that windows as well. We need to open even more our field of view. Let me go here to my properties, camera, and I will open that field of view a little bit more. And that's okay. And then I can delete this window in here and lock my camera. Okay, I didn't color correct the floor because we are not going to use this texture and this material to our floor. Okay, so I don't have to do this. Let me make a quick render, and that's what we've got until now, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I'm going to start by editing some materials. Go to my render tab here. Let me go to these little guys in here and choose camera 2, and I will select the light, And the light material, we don't need diffuse color. And go to material trans, and my luminous intensity, I will turn that to 3 and put a white color, or in white color, I don't know. Okay, and let me go to 1 and select this material here, the metal, and I'll put it no diffuse, conserve energy, and 80-10, just to make it very reflective, just like it is right now. And I think that's very interesting. Okay, let me zoom out in here. On this texture, I'm just going to add a specular amount. Let me try 20, and I will up the roughness to 80. Let me see here how it looks like. I think that's it. Just it. I will not add a bump map to it. I just like to be like this. If you are after of realism, you can add some scratches. Okay, but I'm trying to get something like this. It's beautiful. I know it's not realistic. No one look at this and thinks, oh, that's a photograph. No, but it's beautiful. Client likes. It's very commercial. Okay, so it's not realistic, but it's commercial. I don't know if the right word for that is just like it. I'll turn off this trackball rotation here because I don't really like it. As you can see here, it's nice, this wood. And I'm going to move to this wall in here. Okay, so I'm going to open Photoshop in here, and then I will open this texture. That's the texture. Then I'm going to image adjustment, desaturate. Okay, and let me see here. Just going to image adjustment, brightness and contrast, and let me see what I'm going to do here. Brightness, I will crank up the bright. Okay, something like that. What I'm trying to read here, it's to get less, a lot more. Before I do this, I will duplicate this layer here. What I'm trying to get, it's more edge and nothing here. So I'm going to File, Image Adjustment, Brightness and Contrast with Legacy active. I'm going to crank up the contrast and the brightness as well, just as I get something like this. And I'm going to dodge tool, shadows, and I will crank up the expositive, and I will rise up the size of my brush. Let me see here. It's the dodge tools, yes. Nothing it's happening. So image adjustment, brightness and contrast. Let's rise up my brightness in here. Okay, so what I can do here is just choose my brush with white color, like again rise up the size of my brush, and I will lower the opacity just a little bit, just paint it. I'm just creating a new map. Maybe I'll Ctrl Z sometimes, Ctrl Alt Z, and double click this one here, double click this one here, just to unlock. And I don't know why this one here. Let me delete this one here. Ctrl G, image adjustment, brightness and contrast. I will rise up the contrast and rise up the brightness. Okay, I'll get a hard brush, just paint the white over it. Okay. Let me lower that brush. Okay, now I'm going to multiply that texture. Now we'll add a new layer down here, and I will paint it with white. When you have white in your foreground, you just press Alt backspace, and I will just lower the opacity of this down here, just like this. And this texture here will be my bump map. Okay, file, save as, and I will save it as JPEG and call it bump. Okay, and then I'm just going to hide this one here and rise up the opacity and save this one here, save as. I'll save it as a JPEG, but I'll call it ref of reflections. Then go back to model. I will just duplicate this diffuse color here, and I will choose load image, then choose my bump and my ref. Okay, let me see here, what is this texture? This is the reflection amount, so I'm going to right click, go to basic channels and choose reflection amount, and this will give me a very reflective wall. But let me go to my material here and give it a little bit of reflection. Okay, it won't change what we see here because the reflection is being controlled by this image here, but we have added some reflections here. So now I can turn on blur reflection. Okay, so I'm going to my image here, and I don't need color correction, so I'm going to just use 1.0 gamma, and the lower value I'm going to use -30. And let me see here. Then I'm going to duplicate this image here and go to my image, and I can use actually add layer, image map, and I'm going to use, let me just delete this one here and go to add layer, image map, and choose use clipboard, and I will select the bump, and I'll change it to bump map, surface shading bump. I think that's it. Let me just get close here so you can see how it is my texture. That's it. I think that's okay for now. Later we decide if we are going to need anything more. And let me go to my wall here, and we need to create the bump map for that and the reflection amount. So I'm going to open that, save changes, no, file open, and I will open this wall, and if I press Ctrl Shift U, I'm going to desaturate it, file, save as, and I'll save it be double black and white texture. Then let's go to my wall here. I'll just add a layer, image map, load image. Now you load that image. Then I'm going to use as bump and turn off the anti-aliasing and the high value. I don't like to have too much bump on this wall, so I'm going to lower that to 30. Then I will add a reflection amount, anything, because I'm going to check blur reflection, and I will duplicate this bump here and turn that to reflection amount, and I'm going to go back to 70 and -70 to give it a little bit more contrast. And I need to see here how it's getting, so I'm going to my camera view, render camera view, Okay, it's done. I'm just going to uh, press here to my indirect illumination to hold to render it faster. So now I'm going to my floor here, select the group, and I will try some materials here, and then I'm going to stone, concrete. Let me see here what I'm going to use. Let me take a look at this one. With the group selected, I'm just going to double click it and it will override my other material. Okay, let me go to this material here, and I will let the diffuse amount just like it is, and I will press conserve energy, and I will add a reflection to it, and I will march blur reflection, and the roughness I'm going to lower that to 20. Actually, I'm going to say 8 here and 16 in here. Okay, we have this noise going on in here. They are caused by the area lights that on our final render we are going to rise up those samples to take off those noise. And for now I'm just going to test a render here to see the intensity of my light with the final indirect bounces that I will use, and it will be 3, and we can't see anything in here because I've told to hold, and it will not calculate 3 bounces. So I will render it. Okay, this is the result we are getting. I think it's okay, it's reasonable that we have some very high spot here because we have those lights and the sunlight. I'm just going to set up some things here so we can finish this part, and that will be my directional light. The reason I'm not using the sunlight, it's because we got a very yellow light from the sun of model, and I don't really like it. I work also with V-Ray, and I think the colors of sunlight on V-Ray it's better, so I don't like to use it. But we can add a little bit of yellow color here, and I'm not familiar with this kind of globe here, so what I do is use this one here, and I will put green 1 and blue 0. And what we've done here, red 1 and green 1 and blue 0. That's it. That's the pure yellow color, but we are going to take off saturation, a lot of saturation, just to be a tiny little bit yellow. And for the shadow color, we're not just going to use black, we use a blue color. Okay, very dark blue color, almost black, and that's the result. We can color correct on Photoshop later on, and I think we need to desaturate this color almost 0 and make it more darker. Forgot to make this board in here and this board in here. That's not a problem, can do that. And I'm going to select this little guy in here. Let's go to my model tab, polygon, select this little guy in here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, W to move, and move it down just like this. And to make this one in here, I'm just going to Ctrl C, Ctrl V, W, and move it to here, R, scale it, and go to my front view. No, it's my back view. Alright, it's my front view. I don't know anymore. I'm going to hide this little guy here. It's my front view, yes. R for scale. And I'm just eyeballing it. Okay. W to move and center it, then press U to unhide everything. Go to my perspective view, and I need to R for scale, and scale that down and move it backward. It doesn't matter if you enter here, no problem. And I need to do something here. I need to select the whole thing and move it forward because it's overlapping this little thing here. And move it forward and those cables from TV now can go somewhere. Okay, and really now it's the last thing. I will need to add a new photometric light, and I will choose, I don't know, let's go to new, all files, open with Windows visualization here, and I think I will choose number 6. Number 6, open that, and where it is, W, okay, let me rotate it 90 degrees, W, and I will go to my top view here and move it to there. Perspective, W, and I will move it up to here. Let's go to my render tab, and I'll go to my camera 2, and I'm not seeing anything here. Why? Oh my god, where's my light? So I'm going to render, hold spacebar, top view, and just get this in place. Just right here, perspective, and move it down. And if you are going to move anything, including the camera, press spacebar to accept your changes. Now I'm going to take a look in here. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to render. So guys, this is the result we're getting until now. The next step is to model the other things. We're going to model those seats and this one here as well. We're going to model all those, model the TV, this little guy here. This one is very easy to do. We're going to model those little things, the cups, those little things, and that's it. Hope you are liking those tutorials, and we're going to next level.